This is an answer to the essay question: should universities and schools be vocationally or academically orientated? When students learn, they mostly learn from textbooks, but sometimes they can have practical experience. To what extent should practical experience be included in a curriculum? So let's begin the essay. The first paragraph, we're going to describe the subject which we are talking about. So when students go to school, they will usually go into a classroom and listen to the teacher talking, maybe look at the blackboard or open a textbook, and they will learn about a variety of different subjects, everything from science to languages. Sometimes they may be lucky enough to go on a field trip where they may visit a local forest or a local zoo and get some practical experience about the subject which they are learning. So we can see there are two different ways of learning a subject. Second paragraph, let's talk about supporting academic learning first. When children are young, it is necessary that they gain a lot of pure knowledge without the necessity to be involved in the practice of it. Children have to learn languages, they have to learn basic mathematics and sciences, and we certainly cannot have 6 and 7-year-olds playing with Bunsen burners or mixing chemicals in a laboratory or flying off to distant countries to practice a new language. So we can see there is a fundamental need for learning pure knowledge at the early ages. But as children grow up, they can have the opportunity to get involved in more practical learning. So now, third paragraph, supporting practical learning. By the time students get to university, their orientation should be much more practical and vocational, because they are young adults and they need to have skills which they can use in their real lives, not only in the classroom. So I studied as a doctor, for example, and my first lessons at university were very practical. We would dissect frogs to learn about anatomy. We would go on tours of hospitals to see real patients and see what symptoms were usually exhibited with different diseases, and even help doctors with small operations and medical procedures. Throughout my medical training, I was exposed to more and more practical work until eventually I felt confident enough to see real patients by myself and give advice upon their medical conditions. So clearly we can see that practical knowledge is extremely important once you become an adult, and we should spend far less time with our noses in textbooks. And last paragraph, conclusion. We can see that whether knowledge should be vocational or pure knowledge depends really on the age of the person and also their objectives.